Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something sweet, spicy, and way more dramatic than you'd ever expect. We're talking about the gingerbread house. Yeah, that cute little cookie home with candy on the roof. It's got a history full of magic, hunger, and a sprinkle of mischief. So grab a cup of hot cocoa, settle in, and let's unwrap this sugary story together. Did you know that the adorable gingerbread house, that cute little thing covered in candy and frosting, actually comes from a story about fear, hunger, and survival? Yes, I'm serious. What we see as a symbol of holiday cheer was once part of a much darker story. A story about famine, imagination, and human hope baked into dough. So sit back, because this story isn't just sweet. It's surprisingly deep, and maybe just a little funny too. Long before people started decorating cookie houses for Christmas, gingerbread was medicine. Back in medieval Europe, monks in stone monasteries made little brown cakes out of breadcrumbs, honey, and ginger. They believed ginger could chase away illness and even evil spirits, because apparently demons hate flavor. Soon enough, gingerbread wasn't just medicine, it was art. By the 16th century in Germany, bakers were pressing dough into wooden molds shaped like saints, kings, and castles. Imagine a whole cookie cathedral. It was beautiful, fragrant, and spicy, basically the medieval version of Instagram-worthy food. But while bakers were perfecting their craft, Europe was drowning in stories. Fairy tales whispered in cold kitchens and dark forests. These tales mixed fear and wonder, and one of them would forever change the way the world looked at cookies. Picture this. 2 kids, lost in the woods, stomachs growling. They stumble upon a house made entirely of candy, frosting walls, cookie shingles, gumdrop windows. They start nibbling. And then, surprise, there's a witch inside. Hansel and Gretel. When the Brothers Grimm published the story in 1812, it spread like wildfire. People loved it. The adventure, the fear, the triumph. It captured the real struggles of poor families during times of famine, and yet it ended with cleverness, courage, and survival. And then German bakers thought, wait, what if we build the candy house for real? And they did. They baked panels of gingerbread, stuck them together with icing, and decorated them with candies. The first gingerbread houses, or Lebkuchenhäuser, were born. But here's the twist. These weren't just tasty decorations. They were symbols of hope and plenty. In a time when food could be scarce, building a candy-covered house was a joyful act of defiance, a way to say, we survived another winter. Soon, this new tradition became the centerpiece of German Christmas markets. People made them bigger, brighter, and bolder every year. Sugar windows, candy fences, frosting snow. It was a sugar-coated fairy tale made real. Then came the 1800s and 1900s, the great age of travel, migration, and cultural blending. German immigrants brought their gingerbread traditions across the ocean to America, and it didn't take long before Americans made it their own. In Pennsylvania, entire towns were filled with the smell of ginger and cinnamon during the holidays. Families built little candy cottages and displayed them proudly in their homes. Magazines published how to build your own Hansel and Gretel house guides. It was wholesome, charming, and sticky, the perfect combination for Christmas. By the early 20th century, the gingerbread house had crossed over from folklore into pop culture. What started as a story of hunger had turned into a story of family, comfort, and creativity. Then came the Great Depression in the 1930s. Times were hard, ingredients were expensive, but people still baked. Because baking was more than food, it was an act of hope. Even a small, simple gingerbread house on the table made everything feel a little warmer. Families would gather around, build together, and for a moment, the world outside didn't seem so cold. Then, in 1955, something magical happened. Disneyland opened. And right there, among the storybook castles and fairy tale cottages, stood a little candy house straight from Hansel and Gretel. It shimmered under the California sun. No witch, no fear, just sweetness. From that moment, the gingerbread house was everywhere. Christmas movies, TV shows, magazines. It became a symbol of warmth, togetherness, and the magic of home. By the 1980s, the gingerbread house craze went global. Families across the world started baking their own versions, from Japan to Brazil. Competitions popped up everywhere. People began building gingerbread castles, cities, even skyscrapers. In Norway, the city of Bergen created Pepperkakebanen, the world's largest gingerbread town. Imagine hundreds of cookie buildings, sugar roads, and candy lights glowing under the snow. And in Texas, people built a life-size gingerbread house that you could actually walk inside. It took 35 million calories of ingredients. You could say it was a heavy project. But behind all the fun and frosting, there's something deeper happening here. The gingerbread house isn't really about sugar, it's about people, about imagination, about the human need to create beauty even in hard times. Every piece tells a story. The brown walls, they remind us of simple bread made by the poor. The candies, luxuries that were once rare and precious. The icing, a symbol of snow, purity, and light in the darkest season. And the little gingerbread man at the door, that's us, small but standing proudly. And maybe that's why this tradition never fades. When we build a gingerbread house, we're not just decorating a dessert, we're rebuilding hope in miniature. Science even backs that up. Psychologists say that doing creative, hands-on traditions like gingerbread decorating actually lowers stress and boosts happiness. So technically, you're not just having fun, you're healing your brain with frosting. And let's be honest, it's never perfect. The roof slides off, the walls collapse, the icing runs, someone eats half the candy before you even finish decorating. But that's the charm. Every mess becomes a memory. Every crooked wall becomes part of the story. Look closely at a finished gingerbread house. It's never too big. It's always cozy, bright, and filled with little details. A door, a window, maybe a candy tree outside. It represents safety, warmth, home, things we all need, no matter where or who we are. Now close your eyes and imagine standing inside one. The smell of cinnamon fills the air. Sugar sparkles like snow on the windowsill. Outside is winter, but inside there's laughter. Maybe someone's singing. Maybe a child is licking frosting off their fingers. That feeling, that's the taste of memory. And here's the thing. The gingerbread house doesn't last. It crumbles. The candy gets eaten, but the joy, that laughter, and that warmth stays. The magic isn't in the sugar, it's in the togetherness. So every year when families gather around to build their cookie creations, they're doing something ancient and universal. From monks baking medicinal bread to modern kids with candy canes, it's all one long story of humans finding joy in the act of making. And that's kind of what makes it beautiful, isn't it? The story began with fear, 2 children lost in the woods, and it turned into a symbol of comfort and creativity shared across generations. Think about that for a second. Humanity took a story about hunger, loneliness, and danger and turned it into a holiday full of sweetness, light, and laughter. That's the real magic of the gingerbread house. It's a reminder that even when life gets hard, we still find ways to make things beautiful. And maybe that's why we keep doing it. Every frosting swirl, every gumdrop roof, it's our way of saying, yes, the world can be tough, but look, we can make joy. Even now, when we live in cities full of screens and noise, we still sit down with candy and icing to build something tiny and good. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. The act of slowing down, creating with our hands, and sharing the result with people we love. Because at its core, the gingerbread house is really about connection. It's the smell of baking that fills a home. It's the laughter when the roof won't stay up. It's the moment someone says, "Oops, I ate the chimney." It's joy that doesn't need to last forever, just long enough to make you smile. And maybe that's the secret. The best things in life are a little messy, a little fragile, and a little sweet. So next time you make one, don't stress if it's crooked. Don't panic if the icing melts. That's all part of the story. The first gingerbread houses probably were a bit lopsided too. And look how far the traditions come. The point isn't to make it perfect. The point is to make it together. Because that's how all good stories begin, with people, laughter, and maybe a little too much sugar. So here's the sweet truth. The gingerbread house might crumble, but the feeling it brings, that cozy warmth, that sense of home, never does. From medieval monks to German bakers, from fairy tales to Christmas movies, from your kitchen table to mine, this humble little cookie house has carried the same message through time. Life can be hard, but we can still make it sweet. And that's why the gingerbread house endures. It's not just a decoration, it's a symbol of love, creativity, survival, and joy, of people who refuse to let the cold win. All right, my sweet storytellers, that's the end of our delicious journey. If this story made you smile or made you crave cookies, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves a mix of history and sugar. Go build something wonderful.